So throughout my research, I was able to find a book on children's literature and approach to teaching reading. It is by Catherine Sablé Minardi. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. It has a total of 5 chapters that go through the curriculum that was created by Joy Moss. The abstract of this book, the main purpose of the book was to create a project and developed a thematic unit of children's literature that combines skill-based and meaning-based reading instruction. So basically, reading instruction that students are actually going to be able to learn from. Joy Moss was the creator of the curriculum that was designed for the 3rd and 4th graders. She had an emphasis on critical thinking, integrating of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Research was conducted by 7 3rd and 4th grade students, as well as in-service teachers from 2 different schools. The results were collected using research design questionnaires. The results overall showed that curriculum was very successful. There are 5 main chapters in this book that goes through the process of it. There's an introduction, the review of literature, the description of development design, the curriculum guide that they used, and the results and conclusions from the study. So for the introduction, Joy Moss created a curriculum for a group of students and teachers with a focus of reading and writing, listening, and speaking through the vehicle of children's literature. This will supposedly help the teacher establish meaningful relationships between concepts and therefore helping students better understand their lessons. The second chapter is the review of literature. It talks about the widespread use of skill-based and whole language approaches. Also talks about the problems, concerns when using skill-based approaches and problems and concerns using whole-based approaches. It also talks about using whole-based approaches and skill-based approaches together and the disadvantages of those together. It also talks about using children's literature and teaching reading when the combined approaches are used together. The third chapter is description of development design. Moss's study was broken up into 3 different phases. Research and development of literature-based curriculum comprised of thematic unit of children's literature. The second phase was the review and response to the curriculum by a pre-selected group of teachers and students. The third phase was the review of the teacher's response and any modifications to the curriculum based on these responses. So the 4th chapter is the curriculum guide. There was a total of 14 sessions that were included in the guide. So each session had a story session that they had chosen, and there was an assigned book, questions, and activities for each session. The teacher was to give some background information on the story. They were to go over vocab and then read the story. And then they were given a list of questions they were to ask. Independent reading time for the students and multiple activities were also provided. The 5th chapter was the overview of the results and the conclusions that the teachers had come to. The questionnaire that the teachers had to complete was also listed in this chapter, as well as what they all said and answered. The conclusion that most teachers had come to was the curriculum was in fact successful. And that is the overview of using children's literature and approach to reading. So after reading this book, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but it was in fact useful, and it was really straightforward with the lesson plans that you would do and all the activities and questions and materials you'd need. and I think it'd be really helpful to help teach lessons and overall have students learn from it.